Welcome to A Right to Know. I'm your host and producer, Sherry B. And today we have a very exciting show and guest for you. We're going to be talking about the Conscious Life Expo 2024 and have a very special guest who's going to share some info. Also, wanted to mention really quick, make sure to check out our locals. The link is below. You can join our locals community. You can hop on there for free and see what people are posting and such, or you can support the show for a minimum of $5 a month. And we are building that community, and you have access to exclusive interviews that we do extra with our guests and other really great information, as well as you can post on there. So thank you for considering joining our locals community, which is a growing, amazing community with cutting edge news and information that we all share together. And thank you for supporting our sponsors like mypillow.com/Sherry, SHERRY. And without further ado, today our guest is Michael Satva. He is the co-producer and art director of the Conscious Life Expo. His father, Robert Hanfling, created and founded the Conscious Life Expo back in 2002. So Michael has been involved in his dad's legacy these past 22 years. Michael is not only an entrepreneur and brand specialist, but an artist, a visionary illustrator and creator of comic books, video games, fashion, and futuristic concept art. He's responsible for creating the programs, billboards, and artwork for the Expo, and most importantly, is actively looking to bring fresh talent every year and bridge the generational gap, bringing new and relevant niches to the Expo. So we have lots of interesting things to cover today. And without further ado, I would like to welcome on A Right to Know for the first time, Michael Satva.
Hello. Glad to be here. This is good. We'll have a great conversation.
I know we have lots of things to talk about and some really great things. And you're one of the experts in really knowing the Conscious Life Expo. Your dad started it. He was the founder and he created it. And it was back in 2002. So here we are in 2024, 22 years later. And you've been around the whole time from being a kid growing up with it. And I can say, I just want to share that it's one of my favorite top of the list expos, off the charts. It's 4 days. Real quick, what are the dates here? February 9th to the 12th?
9th through the 12th, 9th, 11th, and 9th through 11th is the main exhibit hall and the main events. And then the 12th is a post-conference. And it's the biggest post-conference we've had ever, so it's going to be a special Monday for sure. I think it's
This
the
year.
largest
Okay.
event ever. We every year we've been expanding it, but this year we have the most speakers we've ever had. It's pretty awesome. Over 200 speakers. A lot of them are new. A lot of them are really fresh voices talking about new things. It's really exciting.
That is amazing. So I've gone many years, so I'm a big fan of the Conscious Life Expo. Why I invited you on the show today, and it is coming up. And I know also we'll post links. You guys have an early bird special, or there are links so that people can get tickets to the expo. But it is 4 days, and please, if you can explain. I mean, a lot of my guests that I've had on the show, Sasha Stone, Sean Stone, Dr. Sandra Rose Michael. I think you're having Dr. Judy Mikovits this year. Daniel Sheehan is just amazing. The list just goes on, and it's quite a wide variety of what you guys cover. So
Yeah, all kinds of subjects. Yeah.
yeah, and I spent most last year down the rabbit hole. I love that. You guys call it the rabbit hole, and saw a lot of people speaking there. And Foster Gamble, I'm a big fan of Foster Gamble, who was there last year. But why don't we start off, Michael? Just give an overview, because you've got panels, you've got the expo, tables set up and on
Yeah,
many
I
different
can
floors, not
I
just
can
one. So
give you
give
an
someone
overview. Yeah,
who's never been an
sure.
overview of what to expect if they were to come and see.
So we really take over the whole hotel. It's at the LAX Hilton in Los Angeles. 3 floors of exhibit halls. That's over 200 exhibitors with all kinds of things from jewelry, crystals, pyramid technology to psychics and spiritual, different kinds of modalities, all types of things. And the exhibit halls are really phenomenal. Lots of people coming with a lot of energy. A lot of the exhibitors have lectures of their own. So there's lectures going on the full weekend, and then we also have workshops. So I think it's a total of 11 rooms that are going on simultaneous with events. It's phenomenal. Um, we have several keynotes that are coming as well. We have Bashar, we have Elizabeth April, we have and several new ones as well. And there's all kinds of subjects from UFOs to disclosure to ancient mysteries to channeling. A lot of light language this year is new. Star seeds, artificial intelligence, creating the new Earth, ascension. Everything's on the table. It's really a place for all sorts of new ideas relating to spirituality and community and finding the truth. And I think that's also where the rabbit hole section comes in. Is just let's get to the bottom of what the truth is, and we're a platform for people of it it very much is about giving people the place to speak their mind, and then we'll figure out if it's true or not. But we like giving everyone the chance to have their voice and say what they have to say, and there's a lot of interesting things discussed at the expo. Also panels. We have lots of panel discussions over the weekend, and so we have 6 or 7 experts in the field that discuss and debate all kinds of subjects, and so that's pretty fun too. Those are really fun to attend because you get all the different perspectives. And then it's in a hotel, so people stay there for the weekend, and it's like a big, party at the hotel with all like-minded people that are, truth seekers and looking for these different healing modalities, and so it's pretty exciting.
And you guys even have an opening event. So it's just done so well. You guys have this opening event it's usually in the huge, beautiful lobby area
Mhm.
of the hotel at the LAX there. And there's a stage and music, and so opening ceremony.
Yeah, we have
And
the opening ceremony, and then yeah, it starts earlier this year. The workshops start at noon on Friday, so really get there as soon as you can. Um, I recommend even coming Thursday night, stay at the hotel, and then Friday morning you're ready to go. We start off with a bang at noon and go until 8, 9 p.m. And then each night we have a little party with the Leo King where he's going to DJ for us on Friday and Saturday night. So that's just going to be a lot of fun all the way through Sunday, and then even Monday. You can wake up Monday morning and still there's 2 amazing kind of truth seeker panels on Monday. One called the Freedom Symposium, another one called Rabbit Hole Roundtable, and we've never had panels on the weekend on Monday, so that's a new thing. Um, and then Monday goes till 10 p.m. So it's really 4 full days of events, which is a lot of fun.
okay,
And
that's
then
interesting.
it's over, and then everybody's like, you know, waiting for the next one. So,
And you
um,
get to meet like-minded people, and it's just so enriching. Talk about a kid in a candy shop. I'm just
oh
going to
yeah,
read
if
really
your thing, any of these subjects, then you're really never going to find this many people in one place that are like-minded. It's
exactly.
such an amazing meeting
And we're
for
going
all.
to talk about that, the
Yeah,
variety of minds.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I just real quick want to read the 22nd. This year's the 22nd Conscious Life Expo. It's a 4-day multi-dimensional event. It returns to the LAX Hilton Hotel, presenting illustrious visionaries and influential thinkers of the 21st century. The expo is abundant with opportunity for inspiration, empowerment, and creativity amidst a global community environment. In its 22nd year, the Conscious Life Expo continues to be a huge success in Southern California, with the reputation of being one of the best expos of its kind in North America, truly, drawing rave reviews and record breaking attendance. You mentioned just a second ago, Michael, that on Monday, you're having this year, and I'm wondering if it's new, a medical freedom symposium.
Yeah.
Is it new this year? And can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, considering the type of speakers you have on your channel, it's more specific to that. It's the you know leftover from the COVID situation, all the people that
The
have,
pandemic, the
you know,
scamdemic. Yeah.
yes, the people that have alternate views of what actually happened, and it's a meeting of a lot of them. I think you mentioned Judy Mikovits
Mikovits. Yep.
and several others. If you go to our website and you look at schedule and go to post conference, you'll see it there. There's maybe seven. I think there's seven speakers, and they're all Dr. Artis. Off the top of my head, I'd have
Dr.
to look.
Brian Artis, he's been on
Yeah,
my show several times.
yeah.
Hmm.
There's a bunch of them, so
Yep, yep.
should
We'll
be
pull up the
interesting.
little
Hmm.
brochure, the program in just a bit. Now, I just want to sort of delve into something here for a moment because there's such a vast audience that comes to the Conscious Life Expo. And just recently, we've gone through a very tumultuous time in the world, on the globe, not just in this country, with the whole pandemic,
Hmm.
scamdemic. People call it COVID, whatever you want to call it. But in any event, it put a lot of people out of business and it shut down get togethers and gatherings. And my hat's off to you guys for surviving and getting through this with such an amazing, one of the largest expos. And and I know people got caught up in the what I call psychological the psychological operation. And we had the whole thing about, I'll just say, for example, it used to be the people who leaned more left were like, my body, my choice. I'm not going to take any jabs. I'll do them homeopathically or whatever. But whatever. The point is, it's my choice. I don't want it to be forced upon me. That's against the Nuremberg Code. And people got lassoed in. And especially, I have to say, to me, because I used to lean that way, the left. And
Yeah.
all of a sudden they started saying, hey, yeah, do your duty. You need to get it. It's like, whoa, somebody lassoed a huge group of human beings that were in, like, say, a certain group and took them over the cliff. And I'm like, I'm not going. So I'm sure
Well, it was
you,
definitely challenging, because even within our organization, there was half that believed CNN, and then the other half that was definitely down the rabbit hole. And so, as an organization, it was very contentious, and I was on the rabbit hole side of that debate, and so I tried very hard to make amends and really find a way to show that a lot of the people that are our audience really were confused in these times and trying to find, where all of a sudden, appearing Republican in a way that it really wasn't a Republican or Democrat issue. It really was a truth issue and an issue of like, um, just all these psyops around us. And so here we are in a spiritual community trying to be,
thank you for taking a moment and supporting our sponsors, which supports our show. For example, My
Over
Pillow.
the last 20 years, with all your support, we've been able to not only launch the original My Pillow, but also the My Pillow mattress topper, Giza Dream bed sheets, My Slippers, and the My Pillow bath towels. But there's so much more. In fact, we have over 200 products, and I'm so confident that you'll love each and every one of them that when you go to mypillow.com now, you'll immediately receive a free gift valued at $20 just for checking out the website. No purchase necessary. Get everything from My Pillow blankets, sleepwear, kitchen towels, mattresses, duvets, pet beds, body pillows, comforters, couch pillows, bathrobes, and so much more. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to get deep discounts on all My Pillow products. And remember, just for checking out mypillow.com, you'll immediately receive a free gift valued at $20. No purchase necessary. This is a limited time promotion, so go to mypillow.com now.
just all these psyops around us. And so here we are in a spiritual community trying to be, trying to have autonomy of our bodies and be holistic. We have acupuncturists, we have herbalists. We're all about this holistic health. And then here, all of a sudden, the whole left has been psyopsed by, big pharma in a way that really is phenomenal. How well they were able to brainwash everybody, and it really, it was a challenge. And I think here we are 3 years out, and it's like a no-brainer that it was a psyops. But there's still people on the left that even with the evidence at hand now will deny it, and they'll say, okay, well, you guys are just a bunch of crazy QAnon, and that was very contentious for the Expo, because there are people in our organization that believe CNN, believe Fauci, believe the whole situation, and so but here we are. We created the rabbit hole track as a way of kind of making fun of this whole divide that we have, and just because at the end of the day, we're not a censorship organization. We're the opposite. We want people to have voices, and we want to be able to debate, and that's the whole point of any of this, is to bring new ideas and allow the public to make their own decision. And so that's really at the core of what the spiritual community is we are seekers. We're truth seekers. That's the point. We're not going to be told by whether it's by the Bible or by Fauci. It doesn't matter. Like, this community is all about questioning, and to me, that's the core of it. And so if there's a problem with questioning, then there's no place for that at the Expo. The Expo is all about that. That's what makes it important. That very, very specific detail. We are questioning the world around us. And that's the real scientific proof right there. It's like, even if it might seem woo-woo, even if it might seem out there, and like some, people talking about fifth dimensions and alien abductions, at the end of the day, we have to think of it from a scientific point of view. Like, okay, this person's account might be true. Let's hear them out. And I think that the irony is that people who are questioning were the ones who were told, you're not being scientific, follow the science. But it's ludicrous, because science is questions. That's the whole point of science, is to question. And you cancel out the question, and all of a sudden you have dogma, and you have like the the Inquisition. It's ridiculous. So in that sense, that's where at the end of the day, that stands is, even if something's controversial. Like, I know that Del Bigtree can be controversial. I know that Sasha Stone can be controversial, but we have to give people a voice, and there is a line. There is a line, and it has to do with violence and hatred. We don't want anything like that at the Expo. And conspiracies, especially because of how the conspiracy world kind of merged with the far right Christian type of conspiracies, there is a fine line that we have to follow to like make sure that Expo still is just representing what we want to represent, which is spirituality and love and ascension and like questioning the world, and not something that's more dogma coming from the far right. And so that's kind of been my task, is finding that balance where we're open, and we're not censoring, but we're also just clear about what our goal is as an organization, and what I mean, that's really at the crux of it, is like, what message are we giving to the world, and what type of voices are we looking for? And we're looking for people who are questioning the world and looking for solutions, because the world we're in is a crazy place, and we want to find new ways to do things.
Make it better. Yeah.
Yeah, make it better. Yeah.
That's why it's really, truly, like, on a, you can call it a spiritual level, an amazing playground, the Conscious Life Expo, the gatherings of minds and spirits and people, and the variety is exactly where we are. It's like we're going through a wormhole right now, humanity, where we need to find out our commonality and not compartmentalize, this uh, political party now. And do you see how they're flipping everything? They're mixing. Like, you would have thought years ago, the conspiracy theorists, and I'm going to talk about that term real quick. The conspiracy theorists were people who lean left, and now it's like attached. So people are saying to the right. But here's the bottom line: conspiracy theory was a term made up by the CIA to psyop everyone so that you wouldn't think critically, so that you would go, oh, I don't want people laughing at me for questioning. I'll just shut my mouth. That never worked for me ever since I was a little kid. So, throw that out the window. I'm a conspiracy realist. I'm a truth seeker. I'm a spiritual person. And so, where we are as humanity right now is it's time to drop all the bullshit, the divide and conquer, right? Because they win. I mean, come on. There are people who put out those psyops and create different things, and we know that. I think we all agree on that. But the point is to wake up to that and focus on what we want to create and unite
Yeah.
as humanity. Don't judge each other. Listen. Sometimes it's good not to judge and maybe not have an opinion and listen to people and just come from love. And that's what you guys offer here. It's a great vibe, and seeking truth, because truth always comes to the light, and that's what's happening. Truth is coming to the light.
Yeah,
So
well, they make it really easy now because all you have to do is watch CNN or any news channel and you know they're lying. So then that helps, And so, even at the expo, the way I say it is, let's say you have five different people speaking about the UFO phenomenon, and you have Stephen Greer saying, well, this is what's true, and Linda Moulton Howe saying something different, and then people who are channeling starseeds saying something different. So which one's true? I don't know. I'm not the one to say, but by hearing all five different points of view, then you can get a better sense of like, okay, where the truth is somewhere in the middle, somewhere. And so really, as a human, that's all we can do is see, hear, and look at all of the facts and all of the data and all of the accounts. And then it's really up to the individual. And every individual find a different truth inside of that. But the more that we speak openly and the more that we have these different points of view and testimonials, the better we get to some kind of consensus that's somewhere in the middle. And that's like the human condition. How we can work together as a team is if we communicate and we respect each other's points of view and not immediately say, oh, well, you're like this, so therefore you're evil or you're wrong or you're this. It's like, no, let's analyze and look at all of the different accounts, and truthfully, that's what they don't like, is if everyone can speak. Just even having TikTok where you're like hearing some random person, you're not hearing what CNN wants you to hear, and then you're hearing different accounts. And that's the power, is when we can all come together and hear each other. And that's why the expo is so important, is it's especially after this distance learning debacle, we learn from each other in person. We all come together as a community, and you never know who you're going to meet and what point of view you're going to hear and what they've witnessed. And that's how important it is to be in person, coming to the event, rather than just going on YouTube and having the AI algorithm tell you what you should watch, because that's not going to give you the truth either, because that's the algorithm, that's the AI deciding what the truth is for you. You have to come and meet other people, and then we come together. That's what it comes down to.
it's like magical. We are meant to be with each other. There's something about the energy, because I do believe we're all a piece of the whole. I do
Yeah,
believe we all make up, if you want to call it God or
yeah, of course. Yeah.
universal consciousness or source. We're all a piece of the whole. And I mean, honestly, I think people that have been running the planet know that, and that's why they tried to keep us isolated and apart, because there's a amazing energy and love when you get together. And at the Conscious Life Expo, it's so magical. The people you run into and talk to, and you can walk around the exhibits, you can see what meet all these amazing people and find out what they do, and there's such a variety. I can You can go on the list. It's just amazing. It's magical. And so I definitely encourage everyone to go and be there in person. And can people, if somebody, for example, Michael, can't go for the 4 days, can they work out going for 1 day or 2 days or?
Yeah, we have a lot of, I mean, it's overwhelming. There's a lot of different ticket options because we like to allow people to do a la carte. and just come and see what they want. You can come and just see the free events in the exhibit halls for each day, or you can see one keynote at a time, or you can get these special combination passes where you get everything for one day or everything for the full weekend. The combination passes only are on sale maybe a couple more days, so you definitely want to check that out. It's a great way to see the show. It's like you get everything all together. But we have all different tiers, so you can come just for the day and just check out a couple of the free events, and we have so many free events with that day pass. So it's amazing how much that you can get. Just I think Friday is only $40 pre-sale for the day, and you get to see everything. It's amazing. You get to see all kinds of events. So um, it's really, considering is in the situation, we really tried to keep our prices reasonable, and we want as many people to show up as possible. Um, and so yeah, there's different tiers, different ways to come.
Okay, and you guys have this amazing, when you check in, you get this brochure, if you will, or it's almost like a little magazine,
Yeah,
and you can flip through it. You guys have it all grid form and colors of which venue, like if it's the Rabbit Hole, which last year was downstairs, you can see the whole lineup there and the times, so you can map out your entire 4 days, if or which however many days you're going to go.
yeah.
You can map out so that you can go from one panel to the other, and it's truly amazing. You often have the opportunity to meet afterwards if you want to hang after and talk to the person who was speaking. They always usually come down if they can and chat with people a little bit. But the things you're going to learn will blow your mind. And you've been there for 22 years. So were you somewhat of a teenager almost when your dad started this?
Yeah, I was 19. The first year I ran the AV team, and it was a much smaller show back then. So I think we used Radio Shack to get the gear. Yeah, so it
Wow.
definitely started out like that. And yeah, it's been going on
And
since
you
then.
weren't at the Hilton, the LAX
It was
Hilton
the
first
Hilton. It's
year.
been the same place for 22 years.
Okay, yeah, ever since I've gone, which is
Yeah,
maybe since almost the beginning. But
yeah.
so when you started, like the size that you're going to have it this year in 2024, and by the way, anyone watching this show, this happens every single year. So all this is relevant information. You can go on the website, you can see their lineup, and I'll bring that up in just a second here. But when you first started the first year, what size would you say it was then compared to what it is here in 2024?
I'd have to look at the program guide from that year, but I think it was much smaller. I think there's maybe 6 events, maybe 7 at any given time, and now we have 11 going on. And we only had exhibit hall on the one floor, and now we have exhibit hall in 3 floors. So we've definitely, and this year we've maxed out all of these breakout rooms with what's called the Hall of Healing, where we have different healing modalities. We have what is it, the EE system in one.
Yeah, with Dr. Mhm.
Yeah, we have the Monroe Institute in another. We have sound bath meditation with Torcum, with quantum harmonics. We have about 6 or 7 different breakout rooms as well. So that's on top of the 11 speakers rooms. And then we also have another room called the chakra room, where we're having yoga, we're having qigong, and more like physical modalities for people that want to get more into their more kundalini activation rather than mental stimulation. So we're always expanding. I think we're pretty maxed out now in the hotel. So um, it's there's a lot going on.
It's exciting and it's really amazing. And everybody, if you've been there, go again. If you've never been, you've got to experience it. Let me take just a second here, and I'm going to pull up, share screen here, and I'm going to pull up the rundown and some of the guests of the show. So here's and I love that planetary transformation, guys. One of my other great expos is the Master Key Experience, which I have a tab on my A Right to Know website. And it's all about we can create the future. We can create the world that we want to live in with our thoughts. And we are in a planetary transformation. And it's so important to plug in and to be a part of transforming our planet. to really be active in doing it, take an active part in on whatever level you can. So go ahead, Michael. I'll let you talk about. Look, I love these stones. Look at the different exhibits. Oh, I saw these guys here with the triangle thing last year. You can sit there in
Yeah,
the
I
center.
think we have two. We have uh, the Shambhala Healing Center, and then we also have the eye pyramids. They both have um, what is it? Shambhala Buddha Maitreya, I think they're called. Um, yeah, and
There's
all kinds of-
Linda Moulton Howe.
oh yeah, that's a couple years ago.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
that
oh,
looks
there's David.
like
David,
an ancient
I was
secrets
there.
or UFO panel of some
Yep.
kind. Yeah,
Yep. I remember that. David Wilcock was there. Yep.
yeah.
And so here's a bit of a lineup for 2024 workshops. Daryl Anka, who Bashar is going to be there, and Linda Moulton Howe. And you probably recognize a lot of these people. Twin Ray here was just so wonderful. What great energy that couple is. They were on a panel last year with Ishmael Perez and Sasha Stone and many others. Daniel Sheehan, he is like the one of the best, if not the best, civil rights attorney in the United States of America. He's here in the state of California, and he's amazing. Dr. Brian Artis, you all probably know him. I've interviewed him several times. Del Bigtree is just amazing. I, have been listening to him early on, and he's going to be there. So you also know Dr. Robert Young, and here Dr. Sandra Rose Michael with the EE Systems. She has been on our show. You can tune back and listen to those interviews. Sasha Stone is a regular on the show. You guys know of Jason Shurka because he's working a bit with Dr. Sandra Rose Michael on the EE Systems. And I'll let you go ahead if you want to point to anybody else out, and I'll scroll down there, Michael.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, we have so many different people. We have a lot of new people. This Raw of Earth is new. We have Quene Foray. We have um, all kinds of people. So, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Right. Okay. So here's some faces, and just just to show a few, and just
So
great
many. We have over
energy.
200 people coming. So
Over 200
200
speakers.
people. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Lee Dundas. Yep, I've interviewed her. We know she's amazing, and she's actually from California as well.
Hmm.
And just look at all these amazing people and spirits. And then you have special events. George Norrie is always a big one,
Hmm.
and Jimmy Church,
We have
and
seances with Susan Slaughter where communicates to the other side, and you get to be there at the table with her.
that's amazing. How many people can be at the table with her?
I think there's only 7 people at the table. Um,
Oh,
it's a special event up in a hotel room, and it's really private, and it sounds a little spooky, but I think really exciting.
whoa, that's interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Uh,
Wow. So I mean, such a variety of
oh,
choices here.
so many different types of things for sure.
There's something for everyone,
Hmm.
definitely. And you can find your bliss there.
Hmm.
So anyway, and then all the panels and everything. Now, one of the things that is just want to make sure I'm not missing anything to share here. Okay. And I'll have links. So, it's just amazing that you've been with it since the beginning from when you were 19 years old, and that your father founded and created the Conscious Life Expo. And so it's an honor to have you on A Right to Know today. And I definitely encourage everyone to attend. And I just want to read your guys' mission statement. I think it's real important. It says, "We reaffirm our common commitment to radical personal and planetary transformation. We are all working arduously to bring into form this next stage in human and societal evolution. We find ourselves in the middle of a miraculous explosion of knowledge, creativity, compassion, and possibility. This is our destiny. Let us come together to celebrate and witness the emergence of this new consciousness. Together, we can build a healthier, informed, and sustainable global community and have fun doing it. Let the journey begin." I love
Yeah,
that.
I'd like to make some statements about that because considering how we've been psyopsed lately, I just want to clarify a couple of those terms. For example, evolution, evolutionary humanity. Um, we're not about transhumanism. I want to make that like clear that for us it's about evolving humanity past this crisis point of like these narcissistic psychopaths in power of the world, and then we create a new earth, not in the sense of the World Economic Forum or this other, top down
World
approach, but
Health Organization, world,
right,
yes.
from the bottom up, that we as humans take on our sovereignty and really can grow and build our own spiritually aligned future with the technology that's around us, rather than some kind of top down new earth that the people in power want us to have. So I just want to make that clear, because some of those words now have been co-opted. Also the word sustainability, these different words that the environmentalist movement has taken, that at the end of the day, we want the world to be a better place. We want the environment to be healthy, and we want the whales and dolphins to be thriving, but we don't want to, we're not kind of in league with the kind of doublespeak of the people in power. And so I just wanted to clarify that, because some of those words now are, it's challenging because of how there's doublespeak everywhere. And so I just wanted to clarify that.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Michael, for pointing that out. It
Yeah.
is so true. It's like this, everything is so Orwellian these days,
Yeah.
doublespeak. Exactly. That's how they do these little psyops. So
Yeah.
we come from love. We know that humanity, like, listen, we outnumber these guys, and we can totally create the world. That we have to know how powerful we are. And when you attend the Conscious Life Expo, you feel the love. You do feel like how powerful humanity is. We can totally create an amazing world here. We all love Mama Earth. I love Mama Earth. And just one little thing, and I know people talk a little bit about technology there. You have the Medical Freedom Symposium. You've got, all these different categories that people are so interested in as they are evolving. And as far as the advanced technology, just even with Nikola Tesla, we do have advanced technology that exists, but we're not being allowed, if you will, to harness it and to use it. And it's being taken away from people, and people are being knocked off sometimes that are coming out with it. And Nikola Tesla had it, 0 point energy, anti-gravity energy. We have the energy. And so we get down here below fighting with each other. Coal, oil. What do you mean oil? Solar, wind. We don't need any of that because we have free, clean ways of creating energy that have been suppressed from we the
Yeah,
people.
I hope so. I hope I hope that that's true. I'd love to see the UFOs land at the expo and proclaim themselves to us. I even was like not only half joking that I wanted to have a hour and a half workshop slot for the aliens when they can come to the expo and say, hey, here we are. This is the 0 point energy. It'll transform your world, and you know right now, the people in charge don't want you to have this, and that'd be pretty phenomenal. But uh,
Right, right. Oh, and then and that's a whole other interesting topic. You guys cover that widely and have the top speakers in that area on the whole UFO world. And it's kind of interesting. I'm just gonna bring it up here real quick. I followed Dr. Stephen Greer for many years and attended in person his conferences, and the one that was last year at the National Press Conference in Washington D.C. I was covering that, and yeah, it's kind of interesting because he does mention, he says that all ETs, and listen, I have to say, for anybody to think that we are the only living beings in the multiverse, that's insane. Okay. It's like people have been embarrassed and shamed to say, oh, there could be aliens, and they start laughing. It's a whole other psyop of the conspiracy, the whole psyop. Of course, there are other beings other than just we human beings on this planet, because there's many other planets. But in any event, Dr. Stephen Greer, and I do respect him, he often says that they're all kind, benevolent. And then you have people like Linda Moulton Howe and, Carrie Cassidy a bit, very kindly. So, and others who say, but that's not true because people talk about reptilians and different things. But in any event, we don't have to go into that. But I don't know. I just think with any kind of beings, you're going to have a variety, a yin yang, it's not going to
Yeah,
just
I
be
mean,
all or nothing.
yeah, I think that Stephen Greer, I'm sure that's a great perspective, but like what I said before is you take the point of view of 5 or 6 different people and you really assess all the different points of view and see where the truth might lay somewhere in the middle. And whether or not they're alien, we definitely have evil forces in this world who act like alien to the human race and want us destroyed. And so whether or not it's alien is almost irrelevant because if there are these forces that are so um, humanless in their approach to humanity, then that's as close to an alien as I think we even can get with that. So, I mean, then you go into the transhumanism is like really an important subject too, because
Right.
there's this this emphasis on it really comes from like an atheistic point of view of like humans being just a machine that needs to be augmented. And I think that's part of what's really important about our community is that we're like, no, there's is more to consciousness. We are a spiritual being. We are beyond our physical body. And I think that goes directly opposing to that transhumanist idea of just oh, we'll upload you to the internet and you'll be an AI and it's an AI is conscious. It's like we don't even know if AI is consciousness because this is an assumption from a very atheistic point of view. Like I think that consciousness is important and we are beamed in from some other dimension, however that is, and we do have our spiritual beings and so I think that's part of what it's about is how do we create technology that's spiritually minded? How do we build a technological world that uses our conscious spiritual being as core to it? And I think a lot of these alien technologies might already use that, which is where you have the telepathy and you have the other whether or not they're aliens or from another dimension. It's like there's a lot of gray area that shows up when you're dealing with this stuff that shows that there is a spiritual component to the UFO phenomenon as well. And even the people who say they communicate with star seeds, there's this interesting overlap where it's like, what is the Merkaba? Is that a spaceship or is it the human field that can transcend the human body? At what point are we, like in Buddhism, do we transcend the human form and we become, enlightened in some way? And so there's a lot of overlap. Ironically, I don't think your average person would realize that, but between the UFO community and the spiritual community, and that overlap is pretty interesting because then you deal with what is consciousness, what is spirituality, right at the crux of it. So, yeah.
Right. And that's again an amazing point, Michael. And that reminded me of how they say we have all this junk DNA. And you
Mhm.
said augmenting. Well, forget augmenting the AI. Let's just support augmenting in a natural way, in a Mama Earth way, hu- our being, our body, our spirit, our being as a human, with natural healing technologies and not synthetic things being injected into us that will merge us with AI in some sort of fashion. No, there's a lot of people who no, we don't want that. And back to the DNA thing, they say that we have this junk DNA. Nothing is junk. The only reason, actually, and it was mentioned in one of Dr. Greer's films years ago, they can only identify the DNA because of their software
Yeah.
up to a certain point. So they just call the rest of it junk, but it's not junk. So is the question, does it just need to be activated? Did someone at one point turn it off? And when we get to a certain point with humanity, like if we all wake up enough and spread the love and the positive energy and unite and stop falling for the divide and conquer and the fear bullshit, the false evidence appearing real, which is how they control us, and stop letting them put their film in ourselves, which, like, if I'm the film projector and I'm putting their film from whatever channel on TV, which I don't have a TV, in my film projector, and I'm creating the world they want us to create for their benefit and our demise, well, I can stop putting their film in my projector and put mine in love. Stop the divide and conquer. And maybe when we get to a certain point and time-wise and planetary alignment-wise, that other DNA will just be activated. Could
Well,
be.
I think what you're hitting on is also just really part of that suppressed technology, which has to do with frequency, and that frequency and sound and even just these EMF waves around us do have impact on our cells and on our bodies and on our DNA, and that it's possible that in the ancient world there was more knowledge of this in the sense of upgrading your DNA just through frequency, through sound, through vibration. Everything is vibration. It's like this is as scientific as it gets. We're all like vibrating molecules at different frequencies, and so all of the different health, the healing modalities that have been suppressed, usually related to frequency and sound healing in some way. Um, and so that's also, I think, part of why the UFO stuff is suppressed is because it's similar technology that relates to frequency, allowing for the anti-gravity, allowing for these things, because at the end of the day, it's frequency, and you have like these ancient monuments in Egypt, different places that they had that knowledge of frequency, even within architecture, of how to like create architecture of different frequencies. So definitely that's part of it, and I think that we can definitely, through certain modalities, change our DNA. Um, I think that's always been true. I don't think that it's just I'm a strong believer in a conscious co-creation of the universe, and I don't think that it's just a random occurrence that different species exist. I think if there's like a bird somewhere, and it realized that being green would make it better at surviving, then it does something to its DNA and its offspring become green. I think it's that simple. Um, how else are you going to explain some of these crazy bugs that look like plants? Like, how is that evolving? That's insane. The bug sees that it's like a blue flower, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna look like this blue flower. Like, how do these
Right.
bugs, like, have you seen those, right? Like
Yes.
a bug that looks like a stick. Like, how did that evolve? Like,
Yes.
you can't like look half like a stick. Like
A
it,
praying mantis, a
yeah,
praying mantis
yeah.
who can totally look like a
It
stick
looks
and
like a
change its
leaf,
color to
like
brown.
it's unbelievable. So, for me, I see that as like a conscious co-creation, that we are actively in our consciousness, affecting our DNA on a daily basis and affecting our future offspring. I think that's
Apps
that's part of it.
and affecting, did you say our future offspring?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. So frequency, yes, and how we can get into certain frequencies. I'm really learning on a sort of deeper level is different ways, but our thoughts are so powerful. So we have to
Yeah.
to be aware of the thoughts, which is the master key. If anybody wants to find out more about that, I'm going into 19 weeks of a 24-week course like tomorrow that's very intensive. It's all about that, like changing on the subconscious level. To me, it's like escape. It's like exiting the matrix, if you
Mhm.
will, by just tapping into to what we have and not falling for the someone else to control it with the fear and the divide and conquer. But I have to say, just from what you said, Michael, it's like I always felt like this is paradise. This earth, I love Mama Earth. I love Gaia. It's like, wow, just, the blue skies and the oceans and the greens and the just all the nature and the discovery that we as human beings get to experience while we're here. And it is a paradise and it's supposed to be. And I think and I feel very optimistic that okay, it might be like the shit's going to be hitting the fan, but we're so close to doing a flip and whatever it was that we had to go through this terrible debacle of a pandemic scamdemic to perhaps help wake people up, because sometimes how you have to get very uncomfortable before you're willing to look at something, and we're all part of the whole. So
Yeah.
we're all riding together in this. And the more people that wake up, and the Conscious Life Expo is just an amazing place, a magical place to be, to tap into all this information and topics that we're talking about today. I mean, it's I don't know anything else like it. I could say in this country, probably in the world. Um, but we are ringing in, and it's up to us to ring in the world that we want to create. And I think we're right on the precipice.
Yeah, thoughts create reality, and so we're all about trying to create those positive thoughts and new ideas and new ways of looking at things and rewriting the stories that we say to ourselves, and that's important.
So, Michael, I want to thank you for being on today. And one of the things I think is really critical that you're doing, and my hat's off to you, is that you're bringing in new, as you say, relevant niches and talent. And how do you find the kids? When I say kids, I'm talking about, like, 20s. Okay, we can maybe even say 30s, but are are they on this vibe? Are they
Oh yeah,
awake
it's
less,
more
more?
mainstream than it's ever been. I at this point, people reach out to me all the time. It's like all kinds of things have become more mainstream inside of whether it's on TikTok or Instagram. People are you know astrology is amazingly popular. You have divinations that are popular. People talking about star seeds. You have light language. People doing with light language. It's just all kinds of these things have become much more codified into some kind of like cultural niche in a way that maybe before was just kind of okay, a one-off person that's talking about these things, but now it's like so common that you can have like a starseed training course, like be learn from the Arcturians. It gets very specific, and it's pretty wild to watch it grow as like a mythology in a sense. Like I think of it, New Age world as like its own religion um, being formed, and not in a bad way, just in the sense of like say when Jesus, if you believe in any of the history of that, during that time, the Alexandria was an important meeting of all of these different religions in the world, and so they were like inventing religions in Alexandria, Egypt at that time, and it was called syncretism, where they're like combining faiths from the Near East, from Europe, from Egypt, and recreating things and inventing things, and that's kind of the realm that Jesus came out of, and a lot of the Gnostics had that, where they were inventing new religions that were Greco-Egyptian influenced, and I feel like it's a similar moment where we're bringing all of these modalities from the world and mixing and matching and reinventing something new from all of the pieces, and I see that it's a similar moment of kind of religious creation of a religion before it's codified and then turned into dogma. And so that's an interesting place that we're at, where I see these themes, these stories, these mythologies form, and then there's a consensus. Okay, well, what's the UFO story? What's the mythology? When did it start? And it's just interesting to watch that as it grows. And of course, then you have the problem that humanity has always had: is at what point does it become dogma? And we have to reopen it again and question again, what are these new age beliefs? And let's find out where we might have gone wrong again. And so it's always about questioning at the end.
Absolutely. That's excellent point, because I know, I think perhaps a new term will come about from y- new age and other terms we've used. And I'm just, like, personally not into organizations, if you will.
Yeah, of
A
course.
lot of
Yeah.
times I just, that doesn't vibe with me, because they start telling people what to do, and you can't,
Right.
no, I think for
Well,
myself.
that's the case. That's why I use that metaphor of that we're the Gnostics, and then before the Catholic Church came to stop it. So we're the ones that are thinking and having our own beliefs and inventing new ways of seeing things. And then there's always the force that tries to come and codify it and then make something right and wrong. And so I haven't seen that force specifically come in, but that's just the nature, is that as soon as a myth becomes codified, that's when there's the danger of people not questioning anymore. And so I recommend anyone who's hearing any of these New Age stories to question them and bring their own voice into them, so they're not just like, oh well, this is what this expert said, and so therefore this is the truth. It's like, no, it's a conversation.
Right. And things always get infiltrated. So we need to be aware of that. And that's, like you said, make your own, speak to different people, hear different things, and make your own decisions. I think inside, we always have to go inside. We can feel which is truth, and truth always comes to the light. So, Michael, I have to say, what an amazing experience you've had, thanks to your dad. And I hope I meet him. I'll be at the Conscious Life Expo and definitely see you there. And it's just an amazing life experience you've had, which today we just barely touched on what you've come across these last years at the Conscious Life Expo. So once again, for people who want to be there, I'll be there. It's February 9th to the 12th, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And it will be the most amazing time of your life. As Michael mentioned, you can stay at the hotel. That's a real treat when you can be right there and just go to your room and take a break. But if you're anywhere in the Southern California area, it's right near LAX. So Los Angeles.
I would also recommend people to Uber, because the parking situation can get challenging. So even if there's a spot, there might be an hour wait. So if you can, Uber
or carpool.
That definitely makes it better. And
super good point.
Yeah, but I will be sending out e-blasts later on about parking information. But for sure, come on Friday, stay the whole weekend, and have a fabulous time. That's the best way to experience it.
Okay, excellent. And I'll have a link again for the consciouslifeexpo.com. And I believe once you go on that website, you can give them your email if you want, and you can get on the list so you can get all the updates that Michael Satva is talking about. So I want to thank you so much for being my guest here today on A Right to Know, and looking forward to Conscious Life Expo 2024 and beyond.
That sounds good. Thank you for having me, and look forward to seeing all of you there. It's going to be great.
All right. And everybody else, make sure to keep it tuned, because you have a right to know.